that, we would like to now invite one of our favorite countries, a delegation all the way from Australia.
Australia! Woo!
I would like to invite Shar Moore to come up on stage. Shar?
The CEO and founder of YMAG, a sister we met last year as well. And the ladies you're going to meet now are very, very special, ladies and gentlemen. And they're here to welcome you to the Women Economic Forum in Australia in July, very, very soon.
I would now like to invite Robin Ratcliffe. She's the founder of Ultimate Outcomes Coaching and Training. Welcome, Robin. I think we need everybody to stand up for a little while, right? Just a little bit of momentum happening. Why don't we just get up and shake ourselves a little bit with our... There we go. Now we feel the energy. The boys as well, boys and girls.
Inviting Georgette
Everybody's
McDowell.
gonna get up. Everybody.
Woo!
Tell your neighbors to get up. Neighbors, up the neighbors.
Please put your hands together for Georgette, the Soul Igniter, Igniting Souls International.
Tracy Horton, owner and creator of TracyHorton.com. Next, I would like to invite Tammy Pike, business owner of Earth Radiance.
Tammy Pike.
Shaquille Sago, founder and CEO, Your Divorced Sister, Tilforth Consulting Services, no regrets. I will have to ask her the history behind this name for sure. And last but not the least, one of our favorites, Maggie Weber. Come on, Maggie. It's okay, don't run, don't run. We got you.
Good morning, everyone, and namaste.
Good morning.
How is everyone? Woo! Who's excited?
You look
Two of
fantastic,
you.
by the way. I have
Sorry?
to say, you look absolutely stunning.
Thank you.
Really gorgeous.
I can go home
This
now.
stage is yours.
Thank you all so much. My name is Shar Moore. I'm the CEO and founder of YMAG. We publish Women's Empowerment magazine in Australia that's sold across the country. I want to cover can we turn the music off, please? I want to cover 4 topics this morning really quickly. How many am I going to cover? Thank you, you're awake. The first one is why. I'm known as the why woman. Why do we do what we do? What is our true purpose in life? If we don't know our why, what's it all for? So many of you are here from other countries. Why are you here? What's the intention of you being at the Women's Economic Forum in 2019? What's your bigger purpose in life? It's so important that we know that, and that's the reason that we publish our magazine, to help more women understand their why. The second thing I want to talk about is who. Who got me on this stage today? The beautiful soul sister, Dr. Habeen Harora, is the reason that I'm here for my second conference. She's the reason that I'm on the board of the Women's Economic Forum in 2019 in Delhi. She's also the reason that I'm chapter chair from Australia. Love you. amazing vision, and it all starts with that. She has inspired every one of us to be in this room, to be the best version of ourselves. What is the third thing I want to talk about? What is the difference you are here to make? Every one of you has a difference to make. It's our duty in life, our purpose, our calling. We must know what our difference is that we're here to make, and then go serve everyone. If you are new to this conference, one of the things you will see is that everyone comes with a serving mentality. No one is here to take, and that starts at the very top with our beautiful Dr. Habeen. And how is the fourth thing I want to talk to you about. How did we get here? For me personally, I visited last year and came to this conference for the first time. But I've been to India my whole life because I'm Indian. I was born in Thailand, but I was raised in Australia. But at the age of 11, my grandparents had organised for me to be betrothed to a man who was 9 years older than me. So I grew up in country Victoria, going to a Western school, wearing an engagement ring as a young Indian girl at age 11. So how did I end up here on a stage in my home country so many years later? Because someone gave me a chance to choose my future, which was my Australian stepfather when he asked me, was this what you wanted? We have a hashtag with our magazine, which I wear and we have on our bracelets, called Just Do You. I want each and every one of you to take something away from this conference. And if it is my words of just do you, then it's all worth it for me. Thank you all very much. I would like to invite my beautiful soul sister, Robin, who's one of my gorgeous friends, who was at the conference last year, to share some words with you. Robin.
Thank you so much. Greetings from Sydney, Australia. I arrived here at this conference 12 months ago, feeling so inadequate, so not good enough. So what on earth would anybody want to listen to me about? And I left this conference with my cup filled of inspiration, filled of love, and filled with beautiful encouragement from soul sisters. I met many new friends here last year, and every day as I go to my Facebook page, there's some inspiration from somebody I met here last year from somewhere else in the world. And I value that. I never expected to get that. You know, WEF is not just an ordinary conference. Because here, we're not attendees, we're not delegates, we're soul sisters. And we're soul sisters led by the beautiful Dr. Habeen, who I so much want to be like. In the last 12 months, my business has grown, but more importantly than that, I have grown. Because I no longer feel inadequate, and I no longer feel not good enough to be here. And that's because I went home from here last year with my cup filled. Me inspiring other business owners here, and other people inspiring me. So my wish for you here at this conference here in 2019 is that your cup goes home filled, and that you experience everything that I experienced last year. And I thank my beautiful mentor and friend, Shah Moore, for pushing me out of my comfort zone to come here last year. I thank you so much, Shah.
Thank you so much, Robin. Now we'd love to hear from the beautiful Georgette. Welcome.
I just want to take a moment to invite you all to breathe with me. In through the nose and out through the mouth. I want to bask in this moment because for a long time I've dreamt of this. Let me ask you this question. Have you ever felt like you were here for a purpose? Have you ever felt like you were dying inside because you had lost your sense of identity? Have you ever felt as though something was missing in your life? Have you ever had the yearning to be more, to do more, and to have more, but felt torn because you felt like you had to choose between your family and your purpose? Ladies and gentlemen, I have known that feeling because for a long time, I stood in the background. For a long time, I hid because I was so scared to show up. I was so scared to be seen because I was so scared of the judgment that I would feel and that I would receive from others. So when I saw this call that beautiful Shah posted on Facebook only a few months ago, the call out for speakers to speak at India, I thought, oh, this is interesting. And she's like, why don't you go and apply? I thought, ooh, you know what, why don't I? And I thought, no, who am I? Who am I to stand here in front of you? And who's going to want to listen to poor old me? What do I have to say? You see, in 2013, my world fell apart. I was pulled towards my vision of wanting to make a difference and wanting to be of service to so many people. But it was like a rug had been pulled out from under my feet, and everything that I knew had come crashing down. My husband at the time, who I had been with for 11 years, he wanted to separate. He wanted to divorce because he couldn't see my vision. He couldn't support me in my vision. He just thought I was crazy. Crazy for having a vision of wanting to make a difference to other women. So, as you can imagine, coming from a Filipino background, divorce in our culture is very frowned upon. And my family did not take that very well, especially my mum. So I faced a lot of challenges. I faced a lot of judgment from my own family, from my friends, because I was following a dream. I was following a vision. I was following my calling. And that is my message to you. What is that calling within you? What is wanting to express itself out of you? There's a reason why each and every one of you have decided to come here today, whether as a speaker or whether as a delegate. There's a bigger calling that's wanting to express itself out of you. What is that? My invitation to you is to tune into that. Tune into who you are. Tune into your why. As a beautiful Shah. What is your why? Because that is why you are put on here. So ladies and gentlemen, my name is Georgette Maymedel. I am the Soul Igniter from Australia. I want to leave you with one last little thing. If you're sitting there wondering what your purpose is and you have no idea what it is, that's completely perfect because you're exactly where you need to be in this moment. So if you're wondering what your purpose is, figure out your passions because I believe that your passions will direct you to your purpose. Thank you very much.
Wasn't that amazing? Thank you so much, Georgette. And to my beautiful friend, Tracy Horton, the stage is yours.
If at lunchtime today I came and took your hand and took you outside and together we planted a bamboo tree, do you know what would happen? Nothing. And if I invited you to join me here in India in 2024, do you know what we'd find in that spot? Nothing. But in 2025, things would change. The bamboo tree is planted for 5 years before it yields anything. But here's the thing. In just 5 weeks on that 5th year anniversary, it grows 3 times the size of this room in 5 weeks. And that is what WEF did for me. I have a story of brokenness, trauma, abuse, and background. And can I just tell you, if any of you, and because this is a heart conference, I imagine most of you, if you have a story that has any ounce of that in it, you understand the bamboo process. Because to truly walk into who you are and be everything you're going to be and share it with the world, you know what it is to have to lay low for 5 years. You know that process of just digging in those roots and coming to terms with it. Last year I travelled here with just Shah and Robin, and I got given an award, and it was the very first time in my life, at 53 years of age, that women had done anything to applaud me. And so it had a phenomenally profound effect on my life. But I think the most profound thing was my topic. I spoke on how to reduce global tolerance to 0 for domestic and sexual abuse. And I don't do anything by halves. These girls will tell you, Tracy is full on or she's asleep. And so I went home after meeting India and after having this conference and decided if that was my topic, I was going to do something about it. And I wish with all my heart I could tell you it only took a year, but it didn't. But in 1 year, I have spoken in several countries. I'm going home to work with my own government because we are going to put a program in place to reduce global tolerance of domestic abuse and sexual violence to 0. And when I'm finished in Australia, I'm going to take on the rest of the world. Because it's just time. Is it not just time? Is it not just time? And that's why I grabbed some friends and I grabbed some clients and I said, we are all going to India. Because when you front up here in India, India fronts you. It was the most beautifully cathartic experience I had last year. I had heard of the term Mother India, I'd heard of all the things about India, but it blew me away. And I was just totally changed. So I just want to say, you have spent a lot of time getting here and probably a lot of money. But whatever you do, just be so present and just enjoy every moment of it and then walk away. Whatever is within you, go 3 times the size of this building. Thanks.
Love it. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Tracy. And now the beautiful Tammy from Queensland as well. Welcome, Tammy.
Hello and welcome, beautiful people. Thank you so much for this amazing space and for you all being so present here today. So I cannot believe that I got asked to be part of this and to apply to something that is so dear to me, and that is sisterhood and women's empowerment. I was very disempowered as a child. I never had a woman in my life that I could look up to, as domestic violence was rampant within my family. We were very poor, and I came from a place of disempowerment. And it took many years for me to understand that I could actually stand up for myself, that I could say no and I could choose me. This was a very difficult thing, especially in my family, when the men, they get to tell you what you do. My husband, I gave everything to please him, to keep him, because I felt unworthy in our relationship. Then in the workplace, I worked in a male-dominated industry, and I reduced my femininity. I dimmed myself because I was scared of being hurt. I was scared of being harassed, which I had been previously many, many times before. And it took the self-belief to heal. It took courage to heal. And it took time and energy away from my family, which also in itself created a lot of guilt. Because as a woman, what is my role? Who am I as a woman? And what I knew was to be a mother, to give, to self-sacrifice, to give to my children, to give to my husband, to give to my friends, to give to my workplace. I gave all of who I had, and I had nothing left for me. And it took until my youngest daughter was born with a health condition, and she was very unwell. My world stopped, and I just surrounded myself with her. She broke me apart so I could find the pieces of who I was again. And in those moments, I was able to see my truth that I was worthy. I was worthy of loving myself. I was worthy of giving time to myself. I was worthy to be empowered and to say yes to my dreams and to believe that I could do what is in my heart. Because so many of us have this dream, but we don't have the support around us to feel it, to believe it. And so we dim it. And we just do little things. We become bored. We become complacent. We go okay to mediocrity. And this is where it needs to change. What is in your heart is in your truth. That is your truth. And this is what I'm here to awaken, is that truth within your heart, that you are capable of doing anything you wish to do, because this is why you've been put on this earth. You are worthy, just as like anyone beside you is. No one is better than another person. We are all equal. We are all connected. And this is what is beautiful about the sisterhood coming together, because we are empowered women, empowering women. This is what's going to change the world. We are the ones who will teach our children. We are the ones who will teach our friends and our husbands. I've been with my husband for 18 years this year. And what's happened in that is I've had a man that's been very black and white, to now he connects deeply to the earth. He now believes in our dreams. He also practices self-love for himself. And this is what I want to awaken in you all, is that you can choose you. Every day choose self-love. Choose to fill up your cup. Choose to breathe joy, to live the dream that is within your heart, because you are worthy, you are deserving, and you can truly do whatever you want to do, because we are here supporting you. Sisters supporting sisters. So never stop believing. And if you do, if you feel alone, reach out. You are never alone. Find your sisterhood and connect, share, support, and uplift one another. Thank you all so much.
Amazing, thank you. That's fantastic. I love it. We are all equal. What a great message. Thank you, Tammy. My beautiful Jackie, the stage is yours.
Thank you. Well, welcome everybody, and this is my first time to India, and like a couple of other ladies here, I wouldn't be here except for the beautiful Shah. Robin and Tracy and Shah came back from India, Changed Women last year, and they said, you're coming with us next year, and I went, really? And those same words that have been uttered so many times this morning, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, what would anyone want to listen to me for? If you'd read my background, I think I'm caught into two roles. I'm on one side very corporate, very conservative, run my own business in commercial and contract management, which is soulless. I'm good at what I've done. I've done it for 30 odd years, but it is soulless. A bit of my background, I spent 15 years in the Air Force. Anyone that knows anything about the military, it's very male dominated. As an 18-year-old, I went to the Air Force. I was sexually harassed. I was told there was no place for me, and yet I was promoted years ahead of my peers. That's not a badge of honour. But what did I start doubting myself? I started doubting that I was part of a quota system, that it wasn't me being promoted, it's because they wanted to use a female role model. And so then I started looking into the bastardisation. And then I also found out that as part of that history, people didn't realise that 3 days before I joined the Air Force, I was at my father's funeral. Now, when I was getting abused and when I was getting yelled at, the thing that kept me going was the strength of my mother. She'd gone from a house of 3 people to a house of 1. Now, anyone that knows as a mother to put their child off to a plane interstate and have just lost the love of your life, you can only begin to imagine what she was going through. So how could I let her down? How could I let my father down? And how could I let these people get to me? That was one of those changing moments. That made me who I am and who I stand in front of you today. From then on, I ended up in relationships, and I wear a badge of honour of 2 divorces. Like others that have spoken before, divorce has a stigma, and yet 1 in 3 marriages ends in divorce. So when 1/3 of the population is getting divorced, why is it that people still feel that stigma that you're damaged goods? Both of my divorces I initiated. And trust me, that is not an easy thing. I left my husband after 17 years with a 12-year-old. Why? Because I wasn't doing justice to my son. I wasn't showing him that the husband that he should be to a wife when he grows up. That you stay in a relationship, that you stay not staying true to you for the benefit of somebody else. The judgment I got, like has also been spoken about, broke my heart. I was a 49-year-old woman. I'm not silly, I'm not stupid, I'm a professional woman. Did I wake up one day and go, guess what? 17 years of marriage, I'm going to leave it now. That's not what sensible people do. But that was what I needed to do, to be true to me, to be true to my son, to make us both better versions of ourselves. And it was my son that kept me going. He's the one that told me not to give up. And there's just one thing that resonates with me, and I want you all to listen to these words. If anyone has listened to or watched The Greatest Showman, you'll understand why. I'm not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, because we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. I am brave, I am bruised, I'm who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, because here I come. I'm marching on to the beat of drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me.
Thank you. Absolutely beautiful, Jackie. Thank you so much. And lastly, but not leastly, the beautiful Maggie. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Hello, everybody. I found out an hour ago I'm going to speak. And this is good. This is good. Because if I'd been prepared, I probably would have come from here. This way I'm dropped in the deep end. I'm always best when my back's to the wall. So in this way I'll come straight from the heart. This is my 7th Women Economic Forum. And oh boy, if you could know what has happened in my life since the first one, which was in The Hague back in 2017. But the greatest thing that I believe that I've learned from being at Women Economic Forum, or that I've gained, is that I used to call myself, and I still do, the working mother's mentor. I used to work with women, showing them how to start their own business from home, particularly if they've got children, so that they don't give all their time and energy and effort to somebody else making them wealthy, but they can actually have their business from home, and they can be a success in their own right. A superb example of this is a lady sitting in the front row here, Bhavani Mehta, who started as my virtual assistant, but is now my business partner. And she has now got, it's probably more than this now, but last time I heard, has 70 working mothers working for her. So that is my micro Maggie work. And I guess that's what I've learnt from Women Economic Forum. That I was working, thinking globally, but I was working locally. And so now, doing this macro Maggie work. And this is my global work. I'm on the board now of a company that works out of London. We also have offices in Portugal. We finance sustainable businesses, socially entrepreneurial businesses. We financed 45 in the last 2 years. We plan to finance another 500 in the next 5. And this is where it's so important, because every single one of these businesses is supporting the hardest working mother I know, Mother Earth. So my favourite one, there's one called Simple Drinking Water, where we have a filtering system for water that doesn't need electricity. There's another one for affordable housing. The one that I'm loving the most and that I really want to bring to India is zero waste to power. So we've just had an order of 50 of these from China, from the government in China, but I would love to get these so much in India, where we can, all the rubbish that's on the side of the roads and that you see your wonderful sacred cows eating, that we take that rubbish, we put it through a process, and we make power at the other end that's cleaner than North Sea gas. So these are the projects that I've worked on. But all more important, I've worked on myself. I've heard a number of you talk today about divorce. I divorced 25 years ago after I started working with Deepak Chopra. My former husband said it was all his fault because I'd become all spiritual on him and I had antenna growing out of the top of my head. This was the best thing I ever did. Divorce was the best thing that ever happened to me because I came out of his shadow and into my own light. And I would leave you with this thought. Go into your heart and be the change that you want to see. Thank you.
Thank you so much. What an amazing story. Look, I just want to thank everyone who's on the delegation on stage today for being here and sharing from your heart, which is what this whole conference is about. And to all the other Australian delegation, we are having a meet and greet straight after this session in strategy. If you'd like to come and meet us, please do. Thank you all so much.
Big thanks to Shar. I just want to let everyone know how this began again, the spark flying everywhere. Shar got so inspired when she was here last time, and she committed to me that next year I'm going to bring an Australian delegation. And right after she went from here, intention to action, she created a WhatsApp group and, started getting people on board and she didn't drop the thread at any given point in time. She persisted, she continued, and here's the beautiful outcome. Thank you, ladies.
With that, I would like to have Dr. Herbina Arora just give us a moment and give 3 awards to this amazing delegation that's here. I know some of them have already been have previously received awards. So first, I would like to invite Georgette Madel, the Soul Igniter, Igniting Soul International. A big round of applause. Next, I would like to invite Tammy Pipe, business owner, Earth Radiance. Out. Welcome, Jackie. Ladies and gentlemen, you have it. This is the beautiful delegation from Australia. A big round of applause for the
Please
entire
come
delegation.
together for a group photograph, beautiful ladies.
Just one picture with the entire delegation.
Please step up to the front as we applaud for you. Cue to the audience. Now,